All right, everyone. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about grafting. So I graft up little apple trees every year and sell them locally just to help subsidise the gardening addiction. But grafting itself is quite an addiction as well, and I do encourage you to try it. The fantastic thing about it is obviously you can get multiple varieties of the same fruit on one tree, so it's really perfect for, you know, if you've got an apartment balcony, or if you've got a small courtyard garden, or you're just addicted to plants like me and you want to have as many varieties as possible. It's perfect for you. So today we're going to be grafting up an apple tree. This is a M27 rootstock. The rootstock M27 is an extra dwarfing variety used for step-over apples, and also used, if you let it grow full size, it will only grow to about 5 feet. So they're human-sized trees, and great for those small gardens. So not tropical today, guys, but I think grafting is a really interesting skill. It can be used on tropical trees, and I'll show you later on a mango graft I've done, and it's just a really interesting and addictive way to to get those different varieties on the trees. The other rootstock variety I use is B9. That's a dwarfing variety, grows to about 7 feet as well. Both B9 and M27 can be kept in pots. They both need staking for their life, so they don't fall over. A dwarf trees are, for apples, they dwarf because of their rootstock and the root size, and the roots won't get very developed on the M27 stock. So the downside is that you do need to take extra care of them with fertiliser and whatnot. So this variety, actually, I've already done 2 grafts on it, but we're going to make it a 4 graft tree. You know, there'll be 4 different varieties on here. It's already got Akani, which is a Japanese apple, and Gala. Everyone knows the Gala apple, of course. But you know, there's actually over 8,000, I think, different varieties of apples. So today we're going to graft King David and Snow Apple. You do have to make sure when you're doing a double grafted tree that you've got apples that can pollinate each other. But apples do ripen at different times of the year. So you can actually graft up a tree that will have fruit on there from January through to July, with different varieties that, you know, early, mid and late ripening apples. So what you have to do, and we're going to focus on the cleft graft today. The cleft grafting is really good for, you know, grafting onto the side of existing trees, so you don't have to cut the branch off your tree. It's good for these multi-graft trees, so you can graft along the side of the trunk. Yeah, it's just a really versatile graft. If you're just starting out, you might just want to try the whip and tongue or cleft graft, and they're good ones to start with, and try to get scion wood that's the same diameter and thickness as what you're grafting onto. But today we'll do the side cleft graft, and I'm going to use thinner scion wood, so it's a slightly harder graft to do, but really not that hard, I don't think. So should be useful for you. Now I've disinfected my tools. I used mineral turpentine for that, and we're going to get our scion wood ready. You do want to make sure you've got, you know, at least 2, normally 3 buds, because sometimes, you know, a bud will fail or it won't work or what have you. Make your cut on your scion wood here, and we'll go the King David first. And you see I've got plenty of space there between the first bud and where, you know, I'm going to make my grafting cut. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to see where this belongs on the tree, and there's already growth coming out this way. If I wanted to do an espalier, I'd go down here, somewhere maybe even further down here and over on the side. and that would form nice espalier branches. But for this tree, I'll do some opposing branches. So these are already facing, going off like that. So we'll do one kind of out that way and one out that way. You also want to make sure where's your bud going to grow. You want to try and understand, you know, how it's going to line up. So the first bud is just here. I don't want that growing up awkwardly in between there. So I'd want it turned like this. I want that bud growing out that way, and this one can grow out that way as well. So just think about that when you're grafting. So we're going to make our first cut. I'm just going to go something like that. You'll watch a lot of videos, and a lot of these guys seem to be able to get it first cut. I'm not a professional, so I may have to refine my cut as I do it, but we'll see how we go. So I'm just going to go like that. That's actually not too bad. Not too bad. I hope you can see that okay. We'll just see how the focus is on the camera. There you go. Not too bad. And then I'm going to do one on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to do one, and we're going to make probably 3/4 of the length of the other cut on the other side. Oh, that was a bit awkward. Okay, I haven't done that particularly well. It's probably, you see here, it's kind of, it's not great. It's a bit uneven, but we're still going to make it work, guys. All right, so if I just cut off some of that at the bottom there. All right, now we're going to see where we're going to put this graft. On your tree, you want to make sure you're not grafting onto a bud, because that's a sort of uneven, knobbly surface. It's not going to be easy to line up the cambium layers, which is the green edge of the bark with the rootstock, which is what you want to do when you're grafting, right? But first thing to do is just see how does it line up. Where do you? And I'm looking at it this way, so I can see how deep I need to make my cut. So we're going to do something like that. I hope you can see that. Something like that. Okay, let's just make our cut and see how we go. I actually like working with smaller sign material. I find it a lot more sort of forgiving and flexible. Trying to connect really big, thick sign material, I find, kind of challenging. So smaller stuff's all right for me. You'll find your own style, right? Your own way of doing it. Now I'll put that in there, and that's lining up okay. It's not too bad. Apples, by the way, are a really good place to start when you're grafting. They're very forgiving. If you don't get your graft perfect, they'll still kind of go okay. You'll be surprised. Okay, I'm going to show you this because I think it's actually lining up all right. It doesn't have to line up all the way right. You need 2 points of contact. Now we're going to see if we can just zoom this in. Okay. So you need it contacting there, and you need it to make contact, come on, up the top as well. Alright. Not too bad. Probably needs a little bit of adjustment down the bottom there. Let's see. It's not too bad, guys. And I think that'll take, to be honest. I might just see if I can get a little bit more adjustment. That's looking pretty good. All right. Okay. And you can see, yeah, it's not lined up at all on the other side, right? And that doesn't look good, but trust me, it's going to heal okay. So I'm going to use now what we call buddy tape. This is a real flexible tape. Now let me just make sure I've unzoomed. I didn't do that last time. I've got a whole other video where I've done this already, and it's all zoomed in. Anyway, all right. So it's stretchy, this tape, this buddy tape. Now this is buddy, not budding. Budding tape is some other tape that's not as good. Buddy tape is what you want, but it is more expensive. Nothing really can be done about that. I know a lot of people use grafting tape with success. I even grafted with electrical tape last year, but you know what the problem was? The electrical tape stuck to the bark of the stock and ripped off most of the bark when the graft had healed, and I took the tape off. So listen, electrical tape, last resort, can be done, but not great, guys. All right. Now we want to make sure that we've got really good, strong contact between the cambium layers. So here we're going to put on just a garden tie like this, and try and get that as tight as possible, and that ripped. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so we're going to get that really tight there on the joint. Some people use cable ties. I just think they might be a bit hard to get off, but there you go. And that's a bit of King David now on there. So let's now see about our next one. Where are we going to put this one? All right, so this one is already a bud there. It's a bit low for my liking. One, two, three. So we'll use a little bit of this, and then I can save some more for other grafts later on. I should have disinfected those shears, by the way. Oh well. There we go. Alright, so this is snow apple. Once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lose that bottom bud in a moment. I'm going to just cut that like that. Okay, a little bit of dead. See how it's kind of brown at the bottom there? We'll get rid of that. Now we're just going to cut a little slice this way. Sometimes when you make your cut, you might find that the centre of the cut, the wood in the middle might be raised, and that's not good, because that will affect the contact of the cambium. So you just have a look and see if it's kind of flat, and that's not too bad. Again, the cut's not perfect, guys, but it's going to work. If I can get this focused. There you go. See, that side's not really good, but I probably won't use that side as a side for contact, so that's not too bad. Let's see, where do we want this one to go? Oh gosh, I wonder if I could even slot it in. No, we'll put it. Yeah, this was a bit challenging. Where do I put this one? I might put it on there, so just fit it in between those ones. If I can do that. Something like that. So let's see how we go here. It gets a bit tricky when you've got a lot of grafts on there. I probably should have done this one higher first, but that's okay, we'll work it out. And again, what I do is I look to see, where do I want my cut? How deep do I want to put it? Okay. that's looking pretty good. See if I can show you here. See, it's got enough contacts there to heal. So I think that should be okay. Alright, just tighten that really tight to get that good close contact. Alright, that's another one done. That was the snow apple. Okay, so what do we do next? So we need to seal these up. This is a product called Tree Stack. It's what I've always used. It's an adhesive for trimming and grafting of trees. Non-toxic adhesive for the protection of tree wounds in trimming and grafting. It forms a flexible film that protects wounds against bacteria and weather conditions. So we're going to paint where we've put our tape, the actual joins, like this, all over. And we're going to paint all over our sign wood as well. One of the things that you're combating here is the loss of moisture in the sign wood itself, which can cause it to dry up and die before the wound is actually healed. So always make sure you do the end there as well. So if you've got a, if you're grafting on a little tree like this, you use this to help combat that, but you can also, you know, put it in the shade while it's healing. It'll take about 3 to 4 weeks, and then you'll be able to see, hopefully, that your grafts have taken. If you're grafting in the field, you know, you've got a plant in the ground somewhere and you're grafting other varieties on it, you can wrap the grafts in aluminium foil to reflect the sun, and also put a Ziploc bag with some water inside it over the top, and that will help keep the moisture in. So some other tips there for you. Okay, so this little tree is done. I just need to pot it up now and put it with its friends, and it'll heal that way. So I hope you got something out of this video. It's I do encourage you all to start grafting and have a shot at it. It's very addictive, and you'll find yourself, you know, seeking out sign material, taking a little snip from a tree that you might see in the neighbourhood, and grafting it on your own, or getting some from your friends. It's just a really neat way, and another way to enjoy the hobby, I think. So neat way to just get a few more varieties on your trees. So there you have it, guys. I'll check back, and I get a pretty good strike rate with these grafts, but yeah, so I will check back in a couple of weeks' time, and hopefully this guy has shot off, and I'll show you the results. So thank you.